Yes, yes, yes. It's Raphie Dawkins with the Combat Radio. And we are live. Actually, that was a bit premature. I haven't heard the ping to say that we're live. So that might be a tad premature. But anyway, let's get this thing started. Let's get the screen right. First things first. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Let's get that up. Okay. That was nice. That looks right. And in comes the Philip Carl Roberts straight away. Okay, let's get this show on the road. How are we gonna start this thing? Okay, we are now officially live. Okay, I'm getting excited. Let me take a sip of my shandy. Okay, very good. So we're gonna start. Okay, so this is Boxing Talk with Raphie 298. And we're talking more, we're looking at the weekend from different angles. So, should be quite interesting. Okay. And how are we going to start this thing? I think we're going to start this thing. We're going to start this thing with Errol Spence. Doctors weighing in on the Errol Spence situation. Okay, so let me get that up. Okay. Boom. Boom. Okay. Let me stop the music just for a second. Let me stop this thing just for a second while we get this thing situated. Okay. Cal L up in the building. Salute to the Combat Nation. Okay, excellent. Good to have you guys up in here bright and early. Let's have a look. Let's get into this thing. Okay, so doctors weighing on Errol Spence's vision-saving torn retina discovery. Okay, so we're looking at Errol Spence and his torn retina from a little slightly different angle. This is doctors. This is doctors weighing in, doctors' opinions on this shizzle. Okay, so when it was announced that Errol Spence Jr. had sustained a retinal tear and would not be able to fight Manny Pacquiao August the 21st, there was a collective sense of disappointment. Boxing had lost perhaps its biggest fight of the year thus far. Perhaps its biggest fight of the year, full stop. However, there should have also been a feeling of relief, as the injury being discovered ahead of time may have preserved the career of one of the sport's brightest stars. Okay, let's have a look what's going on. Yes. Okay, so let's have a look at this thing. Let's go deeper into this thing. During the pre-fight medical examination, doctors with the Nevada State Athletic Commission discovered the tear and recommended emergency surgery. Emergency service? What the hell's going on? What the hell's Raphie thinking? Emergency surgery. Spence flew home to Dallas and had surgery 2 days later. I was telling the doctor, let me fight this fight and I'll get surgery right after. Doc wasn't having it, said Spencer, an Instagram post with a bandaged eye. What's going on here? Hold on a second. Hold on. Let's me fix this. There we go. Boom. All right. Very good. Yeah. Okay. So let's have a look through this. What? Fighters who wish to compete in Nevada must submit a dilated orthographical exam administered by a licensed ophthalmologist. Dang. The exam must be done more than 24 hours before the fight. More than 24 hours before the fight, and is valid for 1 calendar year. Okay. So this might sound like a no-brainer for the commission. Eye examination. That means that had Spence Pacquiao been staged in a different state, or if Spence had completed an eye examination within the calendar year but had sustained the tear since the test, the fight would be happening, putting Spence in serious danger. Okay, so they go on to talk about the retinal. The retina is a membrane filled with light sensing cells in the back of the eye. It acts like a film in the camera to capture light and transmit it to the brain. If someone is hit hard enough or the head swivels around quick enough, it can detach from the wall of the eye. Wow. What's going on? Yeah. Okay. Rough stuff. What's this going on? Yeah, okay. He's come back from worse. Spence says he's come back from worse. Geller speculates that following his surgery, Spence will be cleared for everyday activities in a couple of weeks. But in terms of returning to contact sport, the likely recovery period is several months. So Errol Spence was talking utter nonsense when he said, yeah, he'll be back a month after the surgery. Complete and utter nonsense. Damn, that shandy is nice and cold. Tastes nice. Okay, so complete and utter nonsense. This process takes months. What's about the analytics? Oh dear, funny stuff. This program takes months. The recovery program takes months. As Geller points out, this kind of prognosis would have been unthinkable 40 years ago. Sugar Ray Leonard listened to his doctors and had surgery. Fortunately, his retina wasn't completely detached, but he was starting to see spots and flashes of light. Before that, it was considered a career-ending injury. Sugar Ray Leonard fought for another 15 years. Dang. Okay, so what's this? That's okay. So we got some history. A year later, the WBC super welterweight champion Maurice Hope had retinal surgery. Presumed to spell the end of his career, but returned to make 2 defenses of his title, the second of which was even paired with a closed circuit showing of Leonard Roberto Duran in Wembley. Okay, so yeah, they talk about the success of Sugar Ray Leonard's operation and his continued success in the ring began to change the industry's previous hard line on fighters returning from retinal surgery. So yeah, people started, this is like the history. In a study titled A 16-year study of injuries to professional boxers in the state of Victoria, Australia, which documented injuries in boxing matches from 85 to 2000 in Victoria, researchers found that 45% of all boxing injuries are to the eye region. 45% of all boxing injuries are to the eye region. It concluded that at a high rate, 68% of boxers suffer appreciable ocular trauma that may go unrecognized in injury studies, which can perhaps explain the number of ex-fighters who have developed cataracts over the years. Oh, Lord. In 2003, the British Journal of Sports Medicine unsurprisingly concluded that a boxer is 10 times more likely to suffer an ocular lesion than a member of the general public. So it ain't good. It ain't good. In comes the Iron Kong. We just going through this little bit Iron Kong. We're looking at these injuries, these ocular injuries, the history of retinal damage and injuries and recovery. Sugar Ray Leonard apparently was the guy who was the game changer. Previous to that, it was thought that once you get a partial detached retina, it's over, game over. But Sugar Ray Leonard was able to come back, and that was considered to be a game changer. Iron Kong.
Hey, Raph.
How you doing, Iron Kong? You good?
All good, my brother. Just see you on, so let me jump on with you a little while before I make a move on the road.
Yeah. It's all good in the hood. So I think that brings us to always good to have you. So it's like any surgeries, there are re-tear rates, but they are generally pretty low, said Gelber, while offering that it is possible the rates could be higher with certain risk activities, like fighting. For now, Spence can still plan on a future in the ring, but his Instagram announcements seem to put the situation in a healthy perspective. But his Instagram announcement, okay, being able to see my kids grow is the most important thing to me, said Errol Spence. So people are coming back from these injuries. There's no reason for Spence not to come back for this injury. These are doctors talking, and so there is optimism going forward with Spence and Spence getting back in the ring. However, this process is likely to take a number of months, and unlike Spence's projection, like 1 month, no, he's going to be out. He's going to be out for several months. No 1 month business, several months business. I'm coming.
You hear me?
Yeah.
I think Errol Spence, if this injury is legit, should be severely worried about his career. Because when I heard him say how, he's gonna be back and fight the winner and all this, I was like, with an eye tear, this doesn't make no sense. I mean, Errol Spence does come back, Raphie, and say you're my coach and I'm fighting Errol Spence. What do you instruct me to do?
If you're fighting Errol Spence, hold on, you Errol Spence or the other guys?
No. You're my coach.
Yeah.
And I'm in the ring against Errol Spence coming back from his retina team. What do you instruct me to do?
Yeah, man, keep it around the eyes. Keep it around the eyes. Yeah, it sounds like a terrible thing to say. Put me in a bad spot there. Iron Khan. You got me on tape.
But we're talking real, right?
Yeah, well, yeah.
This real talk. If you're instructing me to fight Errol Spence, Errol Spence is back from a so-called retina tear or rupture or whatever.
Yeah.
You're going to instruct me to attack the eye.
Yeah.
You understand me?
Yeah.
Stop. Yeah, I mean, get the fight stopped.
Yes.
Errol Spence, if this injury is real, it's going to be out for a very long time, and it would be interesting to see how he gets licensed. But I wish Spence, and if he comes back, I doubt he comes back at 147 because he's going to be out for so long. Who says he's going to want to cut back down to that weight again? He might come back and meet a completely different 147-pound class.
Damn.
Because all the people in Errol Spence's generation, the Keith Thurmans and all these are older guys.
Yeah.
these are older guys. You know, they themselves might be packing it in one of these days pretty soon. So again, if you're my coach and I'm fighting Errol Spence, what are my instructions, Raphie?
Yeah. Keep it around, keep it around the eyes, the eyes.
Just checking.
That's kind of brutal. That's kind of brutal. Yeah, hit him in the head. You know that most shots, most punches are to the head. So I don't think we're going away from, we're straying away from that. Most punches are to the head. And so, yeah, I mean, that's how it's got to be. Tell him to jab the eye up. Tell him to jab the eye up. Tell him to jab him in the eye. Punch, an eye for an eye. An eye for an eye. OMG, it's brutal out here. It's brutal out here. Brutal stuff. But yeah, 2 streams in 2 days. What about the analytics? Well, you know what? It's when you got the subjects, when you got the topics. I got the topics that I want to talk about. You know, boom. It's like get it out there. Get the topics out. Get them out there. Do a show. Get them in the show. Boom. Memorialized. Yes. So, Errol Spence, I think we round this up. We wrap this section up by saying that Errol Spence's diagnosis or prognosis or statement that he'd be back in a month after the eye surgery was not factual, highly unlikely. Matter of fact, it ain't happening. This is gonna take some time, and like Iron Kong said, it's going to be a while. It's going to be a good while. And there's an interesting point about whether he comes back at the same weight or whether he moves up. For me, I think he's going to have to stay down. Because if he moves up, he moves into problems, potential problems. So I think he's got to keep his weight under control. Easier said than done, but yeah. It's tricky, serious. Retina injuries are serious. They do take time to recover from. Fortunately, it's just a tear and not he wasn't totally separated. Remember, Oscar Rivas couldn't get a license outside of Canada for over 2 years. But that was a fully detached retina. Pain. Can still recover from it, as seen, as shown. Lineal is invented garbage. That's something we're gonna have to talk about, because if you check the title, where is it? Where's the title? Yeah, got into some cats backstage telling me all about this cat is lineal, this lineal that. So the question has to be raised: is Lineal the Pinnacle? And we're gonna be raising that question a little bit later. Bear in mind, is Lineal Pinnacle? Is Lineal the pinnacle of the game, the pinnacle of the sport? So we're going to touch that a bit later. Okay, but in the meantime, what we're looking at now. Okay, I didn't talk to you yesterday, so now I got you on for a few seconds or a few minutes. And let's do this. Iron Kong, let's do this. Let me move this up. Let me stop sharing that. Start sharing this. Boom. Rigondeaux. Hold on. Let me take that down. Rigondeaux says, I have these God-given skills. This is the way I display them. So we know what we're talking about. The most exciting fight of the weekend. Iron Kong, the most exciting fight of the weekend. Did you see this fight? Did you have the pleasure?
No, I must say I have not had the pleasure of witnessing the spectacle. I've heard so much about it, though.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, they seem to have been a huge fallout over this fight, and I have not had the pleasure, or according to some people, might be the displeasure of viewing this spectacle, debacle. What was it?
Let me go get my drink, and you can talk about it, whatever you know about it, whatever you want to say about it.
So Rigondeaux was on his Twitter, and I guess whoever was typing on Rigondeaux's behalf, maybe he was translating and telling the person what to type. Rigondeaux was on, and he was saying, like, you know, like someone critiqued him about how he overmoved and he did a bit too much of it, and he owned up. He said, yeah, maybe I did do too much, but I wanted to prove to people that I still had my legs, and, you know, I wasn't washed up, I guess. You know, he was also on saying that boxing hasn't been fair to him in his career, that boxing hasn't been in any way, you know, easy for him, and he had to prove himself at all times. So Rigondeaux obviously was, whoever was airing his grievances on Twitter was pretty much bearing his soul. He was on talking about that, you know, I guess he hasn't gotten the fair shakes. And from what I know about Rigondeaux, he has been jerked around by a few people like Bob Arum, who has no idea how to deal with people of the melanated type. So yeah, man. I mean, you know, some people said, you know, it's because Rigondeaux don't speak English, but neither does Inoue. He don't speak English neither.
Mm-hmm.
So Rigondeaux, you know, he was on. If you check his Twitter, he got a lot to say about this fight.
Yes.
You know, he admitted that he did do too much of it, but he wanted to prove a point because Casimero said he was going to do this and do all this to him and all this other stuff. And he said, nothing of the sort. I want to prove to this guy that he can't touch me. The issue came that he did not throw back enough punches.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes. So the tenor of the story ultimately is that what's this? I just want the quote. Okay. Is there another quote? Oh, this is quite nice and tidy. Just one single quote. Okay. I hope people can see. Let me check. Yeah. Okay. So nobody wants to fight with me because I frustrate them in the ring, said Rigondeaux. I landed the punches that I needed to in order to win the fight tonight. This is how I win. I have these God-given skills, and this is the way I display them. I am a unique fighter. It's my style, and it's the only one I know. You can see I'm still better than anyone else in the lighter weight classes, and I am going to keep on fighting. OMG. Well, he says he's gonna keep on fighting. I don't know if that pleases people. He's gonna keep on fighting because OMG, he's caused so much consternation, so much upset. People saying they're gonna boycott his fights, and so he's clearly not employing his style in a manner which the public appreciate. So if you're doing something in a manner which the public don't appreciate it and you depend on public appreciation, I put it to you, Ironcom, does it not behove you? Does it not behove you to take that into consideration in the things that you're doing and how you're doing it?
The thing is, you can be a slick boxer, very defensively responsible, and still be exciting. You can still put pressure on the guy when you need to put pressure on the guy and get out the way.
The two are not mutually exclusive.
They're not mutually exclusive. You don't have to go all the way. Exactly. You don't have to go all the way to one end of the spectrum. And I understand that it's hit and not be hit, but the problem is you got to hit enough. Remember, fight sport is also entertainment. This is what it is. Yes. A crowd shows up, they pay money to see you, and they expect to be entertained. I'm not saying like you have to stop everybody, because I'm entertained by boxers too. I love to see Dimitri Bivol fight. I have never seen Dimitri Bivol knock anybody out. Mm-hmm. Right? I like to see Andrade fight. Right? I don't see Andrade knocking people out. I like to see these people fight. I don't have an issue. I like seeing Devin Haney fight. I don't mind seeing these boxers. I would watch these people. But the difference is those people actually try and do damage, or at least they try and run up the numbers on you. They can't knock you out, but they're going to run up the score on you. They're volume fighters.
Yes.
So it's not like all you're gonna see is just dodging and slipping and sliding. You're gonna see people throwing punches too. You might not knock them out, but at the very least, you're gonna have some entertainment in there, and that's the problem. Rigondeaux apparently went too far to one end of the spectrum, and he admitted that on Twitter.
Yeah, that ain't good. That ain't good. That ain't good.
So to answer your question, in terms of you know, you need fan appreciation so you can carry out. You want to box on, but if nobody wants to see you, what impetus does the promoter have to put you on?
Exactly, Mondo. It's an entertainment business as well, folks. It's an entertainment business as well. If you do not entertain, then there are consequences. You know what I'm saying? Don't blame the Raphie. I don't make the rules. If you do, it's an entertainment game as well. If you do not entertain, then there will be consequences. There will be consequences.
Yes.
Aim for the Achilles heel, or in this case, Errol's eye. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh gosh, man down, from man down to man stays. The red glove militant is in a brutal form. You have to beat Shagayev to become Lineal. Ruslan Shagayev, he wasn't even number 2. Lineal 1 and 2 wasn't even 1 and 2. The idea that Lineal is invented garbage is itself invented. The idea that Lineal is invented. Oh gosh, this is going to be funny if Mr. T. White is on at the same time talking about this Shizniks. That's going to be funny. Well, Brown beat Shagayev, then White beat Brown. White lost it and got it back from Povetkin, so Dillian White is Lineal. OMG, Lineal is so dumb. It's so dumb. Well, anyway, we'll get to that shortly. So what we got here? Let's have a look through these comments section. Shout out, correct. Fury is the man that beat the man. Oh my gosh. Fury is the man that beat Shagayev. I thought Lineal was, you have to be the man who beat the man who beat the man. So if you're talking in Fury's case, then he was the man who beat the man. But who did the man beat? The man beat Shagayev. Don't make me laugh. It was number 2. It makes me cringe. Yeah, it wasn't number 2. Yeah, because Shagayev was number 2, which Shagayev was not. Oh Lord. Rigo does have the hands to go with the feet, unlike Hughie Fury, but refuses to use them. Well, I got a theory on that.
Whoa! What happened? How is Hughie Fury catching strays? That's my guy. Hold on now. Shades of Ali.
Hughie Fury. Rigo does have the hands to go with the feet, unlike Hughie Fury, but refuses to. Well, here's the thing about Rigo and his hands. I got a theory about Rigo and his hands. I got a theory. Hold on. Let me drop this down for a second. Here's the theory about Hughie. About Rigo and his hands. Rigo, Raphie is always entertained with Joseph. How did Joseph get into this one? Okay. Anyway. So I got a theory on this. Rigo's got hands and he's got feet, yeah? But he doesn't have them at the same time. So either he sticks around and uses his hands, so he can either use his hands or his feet. But he can't use them at the same time, apparently, because people complained in his last fight that he was tired, he was old and tired, because his legs look shut. This time around, He used his legs a lot, but he didn't use his hands. Didn't use his hands, Kong. Maybe he can't use them at the same time. That's my theory.
What is it like? Is it like you can't rub your tummy and pat your head at the same time?
That's the one. That's the one. You know, rub your tummy and pat your head. It's like it's a tough one. It's a conundrum for him, and I think that was a problem. He either uses his hands or uses his legs, and in this case, he opted to use his legs theoretically.
Unfortunate, but
yes,
that is not something Rigo will have to understand. That is not something that people really want to see. What the hell is this? What's this? What's happening here?
It ain't me, it's you. It's not me, it's you.
Hey, let me mute this car, bro.
All right, no problem. So Rigo can't multitask. He can't multitask. He can't he can't use it. It's like I don't know, it's like a badly wired house. You know, them old houses back in the day with the bad wiring. You could either watch the TV or you could have the washing machine going. Yeah, one or the other. Washing machine, yeah. So it was expensive back in the day. That was a luxury back in the day. Oh Lord, Rigo can't put it together. Can't put it together. Because oh my gosh. Dr. White, Dr. T White is getting a bit Rambo. He's getting a bit rambunctious. Let's drop the link in the chat though. I dropped it in the chat already. The rambunctious Dr. T White, the bar fight doctor, says the only reason you consider lineal to be dumb is only because Joshua has no claim to the lineal title. I can see Dr. T White with a monocle. I could see him in a waistcoat and a monocle. You need a monocle. What's going on? Does have the hands to go with the feet, unlike Yui, but refuses to use them.
I'm back.
Yo, you're back. Yeah.
I don't know. Somebody was calling me on face. I can't stand people. I don't know. How do you log out of Facebook chat? People keep doing the nonsense. Oh my God.
Let's turn off the Facebook, man. Icon's getting too popular. People are calling him on Facebook. Now. It's getting too popular.
You know what people call me for? People call me to like help out the like questions about like social studies for their kids and history for their kids. It's like these people don't read no books. You have the internet. Just Google search the answer. Stop asking me ridiculous things. What's this answer?
Google search.
Just Google search.
Your friend. Let's just tell them. Google search is your friend. So what we're looking at here. So Rigo can't multitask. One would say typical male can't do more than one thing at a time. Dang. But all I can say to that big boy's boxing is I got two hands. So let's leave it at that. Okay. Yeah. So Philip Carr gets back to the fight doctor. Not really. The lineage was broken way back when Gene Tunney was active. Lineal's been broken multiple times. Do we talk about this now? What's the time on the clock? Okay, well, let's go for it then. Okay, let's talk about lineal. The question is, and I'll lead off. I think the question is, let me have a look at the question. Let's get this right. Let's go. Is lineal the pinnacle? You know what? Let me even write this in. I haven't done that in a while. Let me go old school on this one. Let me even write this in on the thing here. Can I do this? How did I do this? I think I've forgotten how to do this. Hold on. No, I know. Banners, yeah. I know how to do this. So let me create one. Where is it? Boom. Yeah. Okay. Add. Show. Boom. Okay. I ain't done that in a while. I ain't done that in a hot minute. Is lineal the pinnacle? Excuse me. Excuse me, very gassy, very gassy. Is Lineal the Pinnacle? So let me start off with that one, and let's cut the music. Boom. So what? Where is he gone? Is Lineal the Pinnacle? Well, okay. From what we've seen here, what we've seen in this latest, and this the latest guy theoretically is Tyson Fury. Now, there's a number of reasons I can give you to say Tyson Fury ain't Lineal. I can tell you about when he failed his drug test against Christian Hamer, which was the fight before his fight with Vladimir Klitschko. I think that fight was, 6 months, 7 months, 8 months later. About 8-9 months later, the Klitschko fight, after Tyson Fury tested dirty for the Christian Hamer fight. Tyson Fury would have been banned for at least, 2 years? Should have been banned for at least 2 years after the result of the Christian Hamer fight came in. So 2 years, that was 2015, 2016, 2017. So Tyson Fury should have been banned from the ring for 2 years, at least 2 years, for the readings for nandrolone. Okay. He was not. Instead, about 8 months later, he was in the ring against Vladimir Klitschko. Vladimir Klitschko says he had no inkling, no knowledge that Tyson Fury had tested positive in his prior fight against Christian Hamer. So effectively, Tyson Fury should not have been in the ring against Vladimir Klitschko. Okay, so just the same way that the British Boxing Board of Control ruled later on when they got around to it, all the legal red tape that Tyson Fury tried to tie him up into the red tape. Eventually, what they said was, okay, well, no, you are what? Yeah, that fight with Christian Hamer is a no contest. Yeah, right. So likewise, the fight. My argument is the fight with Vladimir Klitschko should be ruled a no contest, because it should have been banned for 2 years after the Christian Hamer fight. Vladimir Klitschko himself said he had no knowledge of it and would not have fought him had he known that he was a proven roid cheat or someone with nandrolone in their system. Okay, so he shouldn't have been in there with Klitschko. That's one. But let's say, okay, fine. Then he retired anyway, so forget about that. Forget about that section. So he comes back and he beats... he draws with Deontay Wilder. He fights Deontay Wilder to a draw. Okay, fine. Hit that like button. So he fights Deontay Wilder to a draw. Now, when Fury was fighting Otto Wilder in there complaining, even Frank Warren said that there was no title on the line when he was fighting Otto Wallin. He was complaining because it was hard to sell the fight with no title on the line. Yes, absolutely. Here you go, Doc. When Fury beat Klitschko, he should have been suspended because of the nandrolone issue. Therefore, his win. Oh, exactly. That's what I always say. Therefore, his win over Vlad was invalid. Next to beat Vlad was Joshua. So is Joshua Lineal. We've been through this before many times on this channel, but yeah, that's a good argument though. The last line is a great argument. Yeah, so if Tyson Fury is retrospectively banned, he's out of the game, then is Joshua the Lineal, because Joshua was the first person to beat Vladimir Klitschko. In that time period anyway, without testing dirty. So that's a fair argument as well. Where's the doctor? Where's the good doctor? And I put that in the title. I put that question in the title because there was a little bit of backstage smoke in the shadow realm. There was a bit of backstage smoke in the shadow realm. That's why I put it in the title. Is Lineal the Pinnacle? Now let's look at the Lineal now. Let's say that Tyson Fury is the Lineal. Let's say he is. Now, well, what the hell has he done for Lineal? What the hell has he done? What special has happened with him being lineal, because he shouldn't have been lineal the first time. Let's say that. But now the second time around, let's say he's lineal the second time around. Let's say that when he fought Deontay Wilder, it was not ranked number 1 ranked against number 2, because that's the conditions you need for lineal. Let's say that the second time when Tyson Fury fought Deontay Wilder, it was number 1 versus number 2. Let's say that. So that means he's lineal now. What the hell? Surely is lineal not devalued when you look at Anthony Joshua, who's fought something in the region of 6 Ring Magazine guys. 6 guys who were in the Ring Magazine top 10, at least 6 more, who were in the Ring Magazine top 10 when he fought him. Yeah, it's fine. Deontay Wilder fought 2. Who was that? Maybe Ortiz and maybe Stavern the first time. Yeah, and then who did Fury fight in the top 10 Ring Magazine top 10 when he fought him? Vladimir Klitschko. But then that's a no. That's a no contest. That should be a no contest. So who else? Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder was in the Ring Magazine top 10 when he fought him. Fair enough. So you could say he fought 2 if you want to include Vlad. I think that's a no contest, but still, let's be nice and include Vlad. That's 2. Anthony Joshua fought in excess of 6 people who were in the Ring Magazine top 10 when he fought him. So I put it to you: who has the most prestigious record in the last 5 or 6 years? That is my question. That's the question I asked myself. And it ain't Tyson Fury, and it ain't Deontay Wilder. It ain't Fury, and it ain't Wilder. Iron Kong, you wanna go in on this? You wanna give your opinion on this area?
Tyson Fury ain't no lineal champion. Lennox Lewis retired undisputed. Vladimir Klitschko picked up all his belts except one, which his brother had. And somehow along the line, Vladimir Klitschko, according to some people, beat Ruslan Chagaev and becomes lineal. Okay, Vladimir Klitschko loses against Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury retires, or well, quote unquote retires for however long. And somehow Tyson Fury can remain lineal even through a drug ban or retirement. But Lennox Lewis loses lineal when he retires undisputed. Tyson Fury retires a unified champion, never even defended his belts. He can retire and he can still be lineal when he comes back. But somehow Anthony Joshua does what Vladimir Klitschko did, where he went back around, picked back up those belts again, but he's not regarded as lineal. But Tyson Fury can retire, come back, fight Pianetta and Sefa Safiri, and he's still lineal. As soon as you need something to sell the first Deontay Wilder fight with, he's lineal. I didn't hear nobody talking about no lineal championship before that. Just Tyson Fury when they needed to sell the first Deontay Wilder fight. Oh, I'm lineal. I'm lineal. I'm the lineal champ. Look at me, Tyson Fury, the Gypsy King. Look at me. It's a lineal champ versus the WBC champ. What? Even Deontay Wilder comes out after the second fight saying that lineal stuff is trash. And I'll find the video too with Wilder saying that all that lineal stuff is trash. I'll find the video too. Tyson, so basically, Tyson Fury can retire, come back, and still be lineal. But if Lennox Lewis comes out of retirement today, is he still lineal? The only way you can start a linealship again is to have an undisputed champion. That's it. Because if it is that you can start a linealship by being unified, then it has to be then Anthony Joshua is the new lineal champion, because he's the one who picked up all those belts when the lineal champ Tyson Fury retired.
Yeah.
So it has to be Anthony Joshua then. It doesn't make sense. You can't retire for however long, come back, and still be lineal. That would then mean Lennox Lewis can come back and still be lineal and have more of a claim because he was undisputed. This doesn't make sense. It's weird that, people don't care about Joshua's belts. It doesn't matter, Joshua's belts. It only doesn't matter because Joshua has the belts. You understand me? Tyson Fury cannot retire and the linealship just stays with Tyson Fury at home in his caravan.
Yeah, it's just in his back pocket. Yeah.
That's just my two pence on it. Tyson Fury ain't no lineal. The only way you can have a lineal champion again since Lennox Lewis is to have an undisputed champion. That's it.
Yeah. Yes. And in comes, can I play with madness?
The Fight Doctor is in the house on Rick James status, as always.
Okay, Fight Doctor, come with it.
Shout out to my esteemed colleague, the Iron Kong.
Peace to you, brother.
I definitely respect his opinion, but on this matter, we differ.
Okay.
Oh, really?
Now, here's the reason why. Now, your argument is that in order to become lineal, you must be undisputed. Now,
no, hold on.
Not at all. That's not my argument.
Let's not play games. Let's not start playing games straight away. Come on now.
Then correct me. Then please correct me, because I thought that's what I heard you say.
Nope.
That in order to establish a new lineage, you have to be undisputed. Now, if I'm wrong, please correct me.
Hold on a second. On a logical sense, on a logical basis, that's correct. In order to start a new lineage, you would what position would you want to start from? You want to start from undisputed. That's ideal. That's the ideal position. Failing that, then you can lower the standard. That's the highest standard. Failing that, then you may opt to lower the standard a little bit, and you may say, well, number one versus number two. Let number one fight number two, and then let's try and start a new lineage. But the ideal starting point for a new lineage would of course be an undisputed fighter. Undisputed fighter, boom, it's undisputed. So that would be the ideal starting point. But anyway, carry on from there.
All right. Well, so then here's how Joshua falls short. In Iron Kong, I would like for you to clarify your position on exactly how would we establish a new lineage in the event that a lineal champion retires. But please clarify that for me, please.
Or do you want to just go from where you want to go? Iron Kong. What are you doing? Beating yourself? What are you doing? Fight Doctor, what are you doing to yourself?
No, I'm asking Iron Kong a question. I want Iron Kong to clarify in the vacuum created when a lineal champion retires. How do we establish a new lineage? How do we establish a new lineal champion? That's my question to the Iron Kong.
We just said ideally it's going to be an undisputed, or other failing that, then one number one rank versus number two.
Okay, so then here's the problem with the undisputed argument. One is that again, I used the Jack Johnson example. Is that these sanctioning mobs, right, who claim to make champions or determine who is or who is not a champion, none of these organizations were around when these traditions that we speak of, the lineal champion, when these traditions were established, none of these organizations were around. And by the time the first of these organizations came into being, the lineal tradition had already been well defined and well established long before these organizations came to be. So the argument somehow that you need to be undisputed to be lineal is nonsensical. Because
sorry, I'm back. My bad. I was on a phone call. My bad.
Yeah, so that argument is nonsensical because long before there was long before there was an undisputed champion, long before there was a concept of an undisputed champion in the modern sense, the lineal title had been well defined and well established, right? So that argument is nonsensical. Now, in terms of Anthony Joshua and why he has no claim to the lineal title, well, for one, he's never been undisputed. So if your argument is that you have to be undisputed to be lineal, Joshua has never been undisputed. So that argument falls flat on its face. Now, in terms of having beat the man, or in terms of how a lineage should be established in the event that a lineal champion retires, which is the number one heavyweight, the consensus number one heavyweight will fight the consensus number two heavyweight. The winner of that fight establishes a new lineage, and that the winner of that fight becomes the lineal champion. That has never been the case for Anthony Joshua, because in fact, Tyson Fury was not retired at the time of the fight of the Klitschko-Joshua fight. So at the time Klitschko and Joshua fight, the number one heavyweight in the world was in fact, the lineal champion was in fact Tyson Fury. So Anthony Joshua has never been in a situation where he has been part of a contest where the number one and number two heavyweights were in fact in the ring.
No,
right?
He was not,
so
because he was retrospectively banned. Tyson Fury is retrospectively banned. So at the time,
fact that listen,
at the time of that fight, he was banned.
Once again,
So
once again, on the day of the fight, right?
Yeah.
On the day of the Klitschko-Joshua contest,
on that day,
Tyson Fury was in fact not retired. Period. So
he was retrospectively banned.
Okay.
So,
listen.
He was retired.
All right. Look, whatever the British Boxing Board of Control chooses to do has nothing to do with the lineal title or the status of the lineal title or the status of the lineal champion. Zero. Fury wasn't retired when that fight happened. Right?
He was retrospectively banned. So
okay, well, what's that got to do? All right, listen.
No,
Muhammad Ali in
1967. It's got to do with the price of tea in China. He was
in 1967. Muhammad Ali was retrospectively banned. Okay, but does that have anything to do with his status as being the heavyweight champion, the lineal heavyweight champion? No.
Okay, listen, Marty. We're Marty McFly now. Okay, we're Marty McFly now. At the time, you're saying that Tyson Fury was not retired. However, retrospectively, jump in that time machine and retroactively, he was banned. So we have two situations existing at the same time. In real time, it looks like, okay, he's not retired yet. Okay? Hold on a second. Did he failed to rematch? He failed to rematch Vladimir Klitschko. In that time period, you were saying he's not retired.
Well, let me know when you're done with all of the
apologies. Hold on. Don't worry. If you're saying that he wasn't retired, well, what the hell was he doing then? Because he failed to rematch Klitschko.
Look, he could have been sniffing cocaine for all I know. All right,
No. You're in the hole now. You're in the hole.
All right? Listen. If the heavyweight champion wants to go sniff
he was not retired, but he didn't rematch Klitschko.
Well, what's rematching Klitschko? Listen, the heavyweight champion of the world does not owe Klitschko a rematch in order.
Yes, he did owe Klitschko a rematch. He very much did. He was contractually obliged to give Klitschko a rematch.
Sir,
now you're saying,
if I may finish my sentence.
You in a hole.
If I may finish my sentence.
You in a hole. Because you said that Tyson Fury was not retired at the time when Anthony Joshua fought Vladimir Klitschko. Well, if he wasn't retired and he was contractually obliged to give Klitschko a rematch, then what the hell was he? Game, set, and match, sir. Game, set, and match. Are you
and your little bell? Are you done ringing your little bell, sir?
Hey, I can play my bell if I want to, sir.
Like, listen, you can play with your bell, but it's best to do that in private, okay?
Oh, is my camera on? Was my camera on?
Your camera's off, but we can hear you playing with your bell. That's not, you ought to keep that in your personal private space.
Oh my gosh, Fight Doctor. Should I? I feel like I should be wearing a black suit for you right now. I'm just
waiting for you to stop making all the excuses and apologies for Joshua so we can just deal off with the facts, right? Because right now you're just all.
I feel like I should play. Hey, have you heard that track by 50 Cent, Funeral Music? It's really good.
I will have to pull it up on YouTube.
Pull it up on YouTube. It's good. It's a good video as well.
As far as Fight Doctor saying Tyson Fury wasn't retired, he actually announced his retirement in October 2016. Joshua fought Klitschko April 2017.
Funeral music, please. Funeral music for the good doctor. I think the doctor needs a doctor. The doctor needs a doctor. Doctor, please try and extricate yourself from this terrible position.
All right, so listen, my definition of retired is different from you guys' definition of retired. Because when a fighter retires, when he's retired, he doesn't come back and fight.
What?
Yes, he can come back and fight.
He comes out of retirement.
Come on. He comes out of retirement to come back and fight.
All right, well, listen, if you guys, I tell you what, if you guys wish to consider Anthony Joshua as the lineal heavyweight champion of the world, that's fine.
No.
That's fine.
No.
I personally don't see it that way because, again, he's never beaten the best heavyweight in the world.
Oh, man.
And that's just a fact.
How can he beat himself?
Listen, in order to be the man, you have to beat the man. Anthony Joshua has never beaten the man. Period.
Did Klitschko beat the man? Ting-a-ling-a-ling, school bell a ring.
Listen, if you wish to make the argument that Klitschko wasn't the man,
did you think Vitaly was better than Vlad?
Tell the truth.
I think he was tougher.
Did you think Vitaly Klitschko was better than Vladimir Klitschko?
I think Vladimir was technically better than Klitschko, but in a fight, I would pick Vitaly.
Because a lot of people felt like Vitaly was better than Vlad, but somehow Vlad became lineal, but not Vitaly.
Well, Vitaly had the opportunity to become lineal. He fought Lennox Lewis, and he fell on his face.
So Lennox Lewis was the lineal.
Lennox Lewis was lineal champion when he fought Vitaly.
How did Vladimir Klitschko get it after Lennox Lewis retired?
He essentially cleaned out the division. So after Vitaly retired, Vladimir beat all of the top heavyweights. He beat them all after Vitaly retired. Every heavyweight who was like in the top 5 or even probably in top 10, Vladimir beat them all. So under those circumstances, I think there's a case, there's a strong argument that he can be made, that he can be the lineal champion.
Because it was decided that
the only way to me you can have a lineal champion after the undisputed and lineal champion retires is without a doubt to have another undisputed champion.
That's the best way.
So Lennox Lewis was not undisputed.
Yeah, it kind of was.
No, it was not.
WBO was a new belt.
So at the time, Lennox Lewis, when he retired, he was not undisputed. Wait, hold on, let me finish.
The WBO was a new belt.
We're not talking about the WBO.
What are you talking about?
Now, he wasn't undisputed by today's standard. He wasn't undisputed by the standard during his time because he did not have the IBF belt when he retired. Hold on, he dropped that belt. That's semantics. Wait, now hold on a second. Wait a second. Now it can't be semantics. Look, it can't be semantics yesterday, but a fact of the matter today. Now you have to pick your poison. Now which one is it, right?
He dropped the WBO.
Let's be consistent. Let's be consistent with our logic, okay?
He dropped the WBO.
In fact, Lennox Lewis, at the time he fought Vitaly Klitschko, he was not undisputed. Now, that's a fact.
Lennox Lewis dropped the IBF.
Okay, which means what? What does that mean?
It means that it was expedient for him to drop the IBF. So it does not mean that he was.
So what does that mean? What does that mean, sir?
He was not undisputed. He was undisputed until he dropped the IBF.
Okay, and then what happens? And so when he drops the IBF, he what happens then? He ceases to be undisputed. Yes.
Well, yeah, you can say that, but it was just a
matter. Wait, no, sir. See,
the IBF will make.
We have to be consistent with our logic.
Okay,
right?
Let me ask you something. Was he lineal when he dropped the IBF?
So Lennox
Was he
Lewis,
lineal when he dropped the IBF?
I'm answering your question. Lennox Lewis won the lineal championship from he won it from what's his name? Let's go champ. What's his name?
Let's go champ Shannon Biggs.
Shannon Biggs. Yes.
Foreman, yeah.
Shannon Briggs.
Yeah.
And he maintained his status as lineal champion until he got knocked out by Hasim Rahman. He won it back in a rematch. So at the time he retired, the time he dropped the IBF belt, yes, Lennox Lewis was the lineal heavyweight champion. Yes, he was.
Okay, so the best way to establish a new lineal ship, because now if you're saying you don't need to be undisputed, no problem. You don't, no problem. So then therefore Vladimir Klitschko gets it because he cleaned out the division. He picked up all the other belts. He didn't get the WBC for whatever reason. Tyson Fury beat him, gets lineal. Tyson Fury retires. Anthony Joshua goes on to pick up all those same belts Vladimir Klitschko had. So, but Anthony Joshua can't be considered lineal, but Tyson Fury can. Anyway, look here. Hey, work's over for me. I gotta go, bro. It's minutes to 6. Kids are looking for me. Y'all be easy. Fight Doctor. Peace, my brother. Much love.
Shout out to the Iron Kong.
Raphie.
Good to have you, the Iron Kong. That was the Iron Kong for sure. Go check him out. This guy's own thing going on. Okay, so Shannon Briggs, yeah. So the Fight Doctor. It was brutal. It was brutal. Good that we found a resolution. Good that we finally agreed that Tyson Fury was not lineal.
No, sir. That's what you agreed. I didn't agree to that.
Sir, please.
I didn't agree to that. That's what you agreed to.
Please be calm. Let's not get emotional. We agree, or I agreed at least, that Tyson Fury was not lineal after he beat Klitschko. He retired. First of all, it should have been.
So wait, now let's examine your logic. Let's examine your logic, okay?
I have not finished.
Okay.
First of all,
I'm listening.
Listen keenly. First of all, it should have been a no contest. The Vladimir Klitschko, he should have been banned. The Tyson Fury should have been banned for 2 years after he fought. What the hell was that guy's name? Before he fought Vladimir. What's his name? The guy he popped dirty for. He popped dirty for him immediately before the. I just mentioned his name.
Otto Warren, was it?
No. We're talking about before he fought Vladimir.
I thought the guy he fought was Otto Warren.
Christian Hamer. Anyway, so when he fought Christian Hamer, he popped dirty. He should have been banned for 2 years. I've already said this. He fought Vladimir Klitschko about 8 months later. Okay, that's a no contest. That should be a no contest. The same way the British Boxing Border Control said the Christian Hamer fight should be a no contest is the same way that the Vladimir Klitschko fight should be a no contest. We've already been through this. So it was never lineal in the first place. And even if you give him lineal, against Vladimir, well then he loses it again when he retires. Yeah, so he retires and then he doesn't oblige Vladimir Klitschko with the rematch, and then retires. Okay, fine, because he's contractually obliged to do so, to fight him. So he couldn't fight again anyway without rematching Vladimir Klitschko. So boom, he retires, right? So he's retired, and Vladimir Klitschko fights Anthony Joshua. So if that's a no contest between Fury and Klitschko. And then who's the very next fight that Klitschko has? It's Anthony Joshua. He gets beat by Anthony Joshua. Now, boom. So we have that. Okay, fine. So
now
no, because we go on from there. Because Tyson Fury comes out of retirement and he fights couple of layups. Safiri and Sefer Safiri and the other Pianetta. And then he fights, and then he leapfrogs Dillian White. Dillian White is in the rankings. He's in the WBC rankings. Tyson Fury is not. All of a sudden, boom! After they announced the fight, they put Tyson Fury in the rankings. Tyson Fury draws with Deontay Wilder. Fine. After he draws with Deontay Wilder, they elevate him up to number 2, the WBC, elevate Tyson Fury up to number 2, even though Dillian White is already in the rankings. So, and then also, yeah, so anyway, so there you have it. Take it from there. So now, yeah, take it from there.
All right, you done with your excuses?
Well, it's over. It's game over.
Are you done with your
apologies? Game over, because if you say Tyson Fury is Lineal now, then you look at who he's beat, and you look at the fact that he's only beat 2 top 10 people in the 2 Ring Magazine top 10 people in 6 years. But then you have to take one of them out because that should be a no contest. So then you're left with Deontay Wilder. So any which way you cut it.
Are you done with your excuses yet?
Clearly not. So any which way you cut it, even if you wish to view Tyson Fury with such a poor record, even if you wish to view him as the Lineal, then he's not the guy with the most top 10 wins in the last 6 years. So what is Lineal? Is Lineal the pinnacle? And I put it to you, clearly not.
Are you done playing with your little bell? Your little Tinkerbell?
Tinkerbell.
You seem to enjoy playing with that thing, you know.
Playing my bell? Well, who else?
Playing with your bell. You know you'll go blind, right?
Who else should be playing with it?
Listen, you know what? What you do with your Tinkerbell is between you and your Tinkerbell, okay?
Who else should be playing with it?
Listen, my friend. What you do with your Tinkerbell, that's between you and your Tinkerbell, all right?
Hey, you sound jealous.
No, sir. No, sir. Not one bit. No, sir.
Well, why are you talking about my bell so much?
No, I'm not. The question is, why do you play with it in public?
Why does it concern you?
It does not, sir. You know what? I tell you what. I'm just going to leave it. I will leave the topic alone.
What's my bell got to do with you?
It's not a goddamn thing, okay? Nothing, son.
Get my bell off your mind.
Yes, sir. There's no problems there, okay? No problems there.
Okay, come back with come back with what you're coming back with.
At the end of the day,
yeah,
you keep talking about what it could have.
At the end of the day, it gets dark.
At the end of the day, it gets dark, and it gets dark for this whole argument that you're trying to propose, because it's flying in the face of logic and reason. I'm sorry, but it is.
Come on with it, brother. Come on with it.
You keep making the excuse about, the result should have been a no contest and he should have been this, that, and the other, Tyson Fury. But the record books record win 12. Fury over Klitschko. That's what the record books say.
Until it's overturned.
Okay. Well, see, again, we can live in the real world, or we can live in the fantasy world of the Anthony Joshua cheerleading contingent.
Well,
now, whichever world you wish to live in, sir, whichever world you and your Tinkerbell wish to live in, that's up to you.
The only person who's mentioned Joshua is you, brother. Carry on.
But I'm going to live in the real world. And in the real world, the record books record Fury, win 12, Klitschko. Now, that's not what I'm making up. That's not an excuse. Those are the facts. F-A-C-K-T-S. The facts.
F-A-C-K-T-S? Okay? Oh, Lord.
Okay.
Oh, Lord. Hold on.
Those are the facts.
F-A.
Period.
Let me just write this out.
Now, above and beyond that.
T-S. People, please. Can I get a witness?
Above and beyond that.
Witness?
Let me finish. Above and beyond that, as I recall, 2 things. One, all of those belts, each and every last one of the belts that Anthony Joshua currently holds were previously held by Tyson Fury and were all stripped. The WBA, IBF, the WBO. Listen, Tyson Fury is the only active heavyweight to have held all 4. Oh, wait. Facts. F-A-C-K-T-S. Facts, okay? Okay?
Carry on,
now let's deal with the facts. Now you're making this whole argument about undisputed, but the simple fact of the matter is this. Tyson Fury is the only active heavyweight to have held. In fact, I think he's the only heavyweight in history to have held the IBF, WBA, WBC, WBO titles. Okay? Joshua has never held a WBC title, period. And those titles that he holds right now, they previously belonged to Tyson Fury. And I just find it funny how the Anthony Joshua cheerleading contingent wishes to turn a blind eye, okay, see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil, where these inconvenient and uncomfortable facts are concerned. FACKTS, facts. Okay? Now, above and beyond that, guess what? Oh, I got more facts for you, sir. I got more facts for you.
Come with it, brother. Come with it, brother.
As I recall, at the time of the Anthony Joshua Vladimir Klitschko fight, there was a heavyweight who was holding the WBC title. Guess who that heavyweight was?
Ooh.
I think you know.
Ooh, no,
I think you know.
Tell me.
I think you know.
Tell me.
Deontay Wilder.
Deontay Wilder was holding
Deontay Wilder.
WBC.
So at the time Anthony Joshua had no heavyweight belts, Deontay Wilder had already won and defended his title several times. Okay? Facts. So this whole argument that somehow a new lineage was established when Joshua beat Klitschko, it falls flat on its face, sir. No. Because there's no reason why you should rank Anthony Joshua ahead of Deontay Wilder when Deontay Wilder had already held it and defended the heavyweight belt. Joshua had not.
Did Tyson Fury defend his heavyweight belts?
Once again,
Has Tyson Fury ever?
Once again,
Tyson Fury ever defended his belts? You say
once again, the Anthony Joshua, and I need to correct myself.
Don't correct yourself, man.
Anthony Joshua had just won the IBF title in his previous fight, but even before then, he had already. Before Anthony Joshua had become a titleist at heavyweight, Deontay Wilder had already won and defended his title several times. So this argument that a new lineage was established in the Joshua Klitschko fight, that argument falls flat on its face because there's no good reason to have ranked Joshua ahead of Deontay Wilder. I'm sorry, but no.
Lisa Bellis wants to hold on. Lisa, hold on. What the hell is that? Okay, so what was your last line there? Fight Doctor, what was your last line there? The last thing you just said?
The point that I'm making is that the Anthony Joshua cheerleading contingent wish to live on Fantasy Island, but I'm going to live in the real world, okay? In the real world where the record books record Fury, W12, Klitschko. All right? Those are the facts. And all this nonsense about, oh, well, he should have been this, that, and other, and it should be a no contest. Look, when they changed it.
Who Wilder fought? Who did he fight before? Anyway, don't worry about that. What you saying, my friend? What's your final line? What's your final line? Just wrap it up and put it in a nutshell. Be consistent
with your logic, okay? Because you're always talking about lineal. Yeah. Joshua has never been lineal.
My friend, you find out your closing argument.
You want to make the argument. You want to make the argument that in order to be lineal, you have to first be undisputed. Joshua has never been lineal or undisputed, yet still the Anthony Joshua cheerleading contingent wants to elevate him to this status that he's never achieved in the ring. He's never beaten a lineal champion. Period. Facts. He's never beaten a lineal champion. He's never been undisputed, and yet and still, you wish to circumvent the rules that you created, that you apply to everyone else, circumvent those rules for Anthony Joshua.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, listen.
What's your final line, my friend? What's your final line?
My final line is this: let's have some intellectual honesty.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And let's debate the facts.
Well, we've already had the debate. So I'm simply asking you for your closing argument. That's all. Your last line, your closing argument.
My closing argument, sir, relocate from Fantasy Island. That's my closing argument. You and Tinkerbell relocate from Fantasy Island.
Oh my OMG. OMG. The fight doctor, that was scintillating. I ain't gonna go too far past that because I always like to finish on a high. I was gonna give Lisa asked for the link. I dropped the link. I was gonna give her, just gonna give her a minute to drop in and give her closing argument. But yeah, I mean, that's perfect where it is. That's perfect where it stands. We've heard my argument, which is very clear. Tyson Fury. Well, I'm not gonna go over it again. I've done it several times. So we've heard my argument, we've heard your argument. We're going to leave it there. If Lisa comes in the next minute, that's fine. We're going to leave it there, I hope, and because it's nice and concise right there. I'm going to give Lisa 1 minute to get in and give her closing argument, if she so wishes. But I'm not going to go far past. I'm not going to go past this. I'm not going to go past this because this is beautiful. You came in. You've given your argument. We've done it multiple times. You've given your argument. I've given mine. Did I drop the link? I'm pretty sure I dropped the link in there. Haven't seen link. Did I drop the link or did I not? There it is. Yeah, I did. It's there. It's there. But this was great. This was great. This was perfect. This was lovely. This was marvelous. This was marvelous because, people, we go back and forth sometimes. Did Wilder face the consensus number 2 at that time? Had he faced the consensus number 2 at that time? Who Wilder fight? There's so much beauty in here.
But see, here's the difference between my argument and the argument made by the Anthony Joshua cheerleading contingent. Mm-hmm. I never claimed that Wilder was anything other than what he was, which is the WBC heavyweight champion.
Yeah.
I never made the claim that he was that he ever had the best resume at heavyweight or that he was lineal champion. Right? Mm-hmm. So, who he fought is beside the point.
So
but now to answer this question, but to answer the question, I can tell you who he fought. He fought Tyson Fury, who was the best heavyweight in the world and a lineal champion. That's what he fought.
Right? He did what? He fought Tyson Fury, and what happened?
He got a draw and he got knocked out.
All right, cool.
But that's who he fought. If that's the question, that's who he fought.
The question. There's two questions. Who he fought and what happened? Who he fought and what happened?
But listen, at the end of the day,
you told me we know who he fought. Bunch of bombs and Tyson Fury and Luis Ortiz, and then he lost to Fury, and he drew with Fury and he lost to Fury, and they're holding up the division. And really, the question is Lineal the Pinnacle? And I think we've pretty much answered that because the guy who's supposed to be the Lineal sure ain't the Pinnacle. But anyway, Lisa Bayles, how do you do, Lisa? You're gonna have the last word around here.
Hey guys, how y'all doing?
How you doing, beautiful?
I'm good, handsome. Hey, my handsome brothers. Yeah, I just feel like there's three there's 3 people, like it's just we just want to see who's the best, what I mean?
3 people at the top, and we want to find out who the hell the best is. Yeah, I hear you.
Right. But people, we got to keep that same energy for AJ as you would any other undisputed champ. Does anybody not undisputed, unified champ?
Yeah. Because
usually the consensus, they'll just say they're number 1, but they're not really like. Usually it's the man,
the man who beat the man who beat
the well, or the man that got all the hardware, everything, undisputed and with the ring, title. But it's like Spence is considered the number 1 welterweight, right? Why isn't AJ considered that?
See,
I could take this many. I could go many places with this. You gotta understand, he's a 2-time. Yeah, Tyson Fury. I get it. He's
never defended. Tyson Fury never defended. That's the big difference between the 2 of them. Tyson Fury never defended. Joshua's defending every 2 times a year. Tyson Fury ain't done it in his lifetime.
Right, it's because Tyson had retired that time and came back.
He came
back.
Got stripped. And he's beat Deontay Wilder, but still hasn't given him his rematch yet.
Right. So I just go by character.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that Tyson Fury is not a great fighter. He's a great fighter. But we're talking about character. To be able to walk in that being a heavyweight champion comes with a lot of responsibilities, and I think AJ is the best representative of it. That's just my opinion.
Well,
everybody's entitled to their own opinion, you know.
Well, hey, 100%, 100%, Lisa. And you know what? I'm not really looking to take this thing any longer. I think I just wanted people's opinions. I got the Fight Doctor's opinion. I got Iron Kong's opinion. I got and now I have your opinion. Is there anything you want to top it off with? Because I
just want to say, you know, like I said, we won't know who's really the best until they all get in there. You know what I mean? There's always been an issue with you know, with negotiations. So hopefully, you know, it's just always the issue.
That's right.
You know, I'm not even interested in this trilogy. It's just there's so many fights been canceled, and like it's just like
let's get number one versus number two. Let's get number one v number two. I mean, Wilder ain't number 2, 3, or 4. It might be 4 or 5. So why are we wasting time? Why are we wasting time? Let's get 1 and 2. Let's get number 1 Anthony Joshua versus number 2 Tyson Fury.
Well, it was the contract. Contractually, he had to oblige. So
but then he's trying to skirt out. But then Tyson Fury was trying to skirt out, saying no. There was no. We didn't have no contractual obligation. But the arbitrator looked at it and said, "Yes, you do have a contractual obligation." So were you just
Sure. Now I'm hearing rumors about. See, that's the thing with Fury. What I don't like. That's the thing with him. Look, I'm a boxing fan. I'm an adult. I don't have time for all these shenanigans. Boxing is not what it's not how we grew up watching it. So I don't have time for all of this. Oh, I'm gonna fight you today, or I'm not gonna. Look, we don't have time for that. Boxing has become niche. So either y'all gonna get in there and fight, or I don't want to hear all of that stuff because it's corny.
Corny, man. It's corny. It's old, and we're all going to be old and gray before this thing, man. It's dry. It's cracked leather. It's corny, man. Let's get the number 2 guy in there with the number 1 guy. Let's get the guy who defends his belt in there, and let's get this. Somehow get this guy who doesn't defend titles in there. Let's find out. Let's get number 1 in there. Let's somehow drag this number 2 cat in there, and let's find out who is the best.
Yeah, because I don't have time for all of that stuff.
Nobody got time for that.
It's not funny to me. It's not funny. It's not a joke. You know how many people are mad? They paid their money for those tickets. You get what I'm saying? They booked hotels. Then the fight don't happen. People don't have time for that. He gonna lose a lot of support for that.
100%, 100%, Lisa. Babe,
For all that BS.
That was the Lisa Bayliss, and Lisa Bayliss, much appreciation. You came with just basic common sense, and that's all it takes sometimes. Tell them, Lisa Bayliss. So that was the Lisa Bayliss, and of course, we had the Fight Doctor. The Fight Doctor comes, he brings it, he don't care, he just comes, jumps off the horse and gets gunslinging. That's why we like him. And he brings he brings the fun, and he brings the facts. And, I ain't gonna take it no more. So good night, the Fight Doctor. Where is he?
Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure. First time on with my sister. Sister, have we been on before?
You've been on before.
Okay, my apologies. Well, then it is a pleasure to be on with you again.
Yeah, always a pleasure, Fight Doctor. Always a pleasure.
And that was the Fight Doctor bringing it. Much appreciation to the Fight Doctor and Lisa Bayliss. Much appreciation to the Fight Doctor always.
Yeah.
It's your final
Thanks
words,
for having
please.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Ralph. I just want to, we just want to see the fights. At this point, I'm just getting like uninterested. You know, like you know, in the welterweights, I'm getting uninterested in the heavyweights. Like you know, we had a good fights this weekend. We had really good fights. You know, with Virgil Ortiz and Aegis Kavialaskas. So that was a great fight. You know.
Hey, he was
So
incredible.
like yeah, we get gems every so often. You know.
Absolutely, absolutely. And Lisa, it's late over here in the UK.
Yes.
So just about time for the Raphie to get his glass of his cup, a mug of hot cocoa before he turns in for bed. So much appreciation for you joining. And take care, Lisa Bales.
Oh, no problem. Thanks for having me, and have a blessed evening.
And that was the Lisa Bales. And what are we doing here? What are we doing here? Peace out, panel, and chat. Facts. Remember that. Remember that. Remember that. Lady Chan up in the building. Thank you to everybody who came on the panel, the Iron Kong, the Fight Doctor, the Lisa Bales, and to everybody out there in the chat. Hopefully you hopefully absolutely out of the question, sir. Hopefully you've all smashed the like button, you've smashed the subscribe button, and hopefully you may even smash that share button. Okay, thank you to everybody, and we'll be live again later on during the week. And all that's left for me to say is blessed. Thank you, one and all.